these are the types of things that really helped out with family as well.
Right.
Because I could go into my forum group, talk about these issues.
Yes.
These people in that forum group, my sort of board of advisors, ended up in very similar situations. Hey everyone, this is Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast. Today, we're going to be discussing about how to build collaborative business while putting your loved ones first. Now, that's always been a challenge. But anyways, today, we're going to be also discussing what does it mean to be a visionary? What traits define a visionary leader? And tips for finding the right collaboration partner. Welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast. Okay, today we're going to be discussing how to build collaborative business while putting your loved ones first. And that is a challenge for many entrepreneurs. Our guest is the founder CEO of the global PR firm BR Epic, and I'm going to have to make sure I said that right, but BR Epic and exclusive connectivity platform BR Epic Network. His newest book, Epic Life, features a foreword from Dr. Peter Diamandis, and I hope I'm saying that right, Dr. Peter, and has the #1 overall book in sales for Amazon Kindle. Pretty cool. He's also been featured in the Wall Street Journal and USA Today bestseller list. And today we're going to be talking to our first-time guest, Justin Breen. Okay, so before we get to that, let's head over to a sponsor.
This episode of Lunch with Norm is sponsored by VAA Philippines. Looking for a high-quality virtual assistant for your business? With the rigorous screening, intensive Amazon and Walmart training, and ongoing professional development, get the peace of mind with skilled and motivated virtual assistants for a long-term working relationship. Hire through VAA today, and now let's get back to the show.
Welcome, Justin.
Hello. I was putting our third puppy, Mr. Beans Breen. He's a Newfie poo. Just putting him back in the crate. So he didn't escape. Yeah. He's a great dog.
Okay, I know what a Newfie is. What is the poo side?
Poodle. Yeah. So
what? How can you mix a Newfie with a poodle?
Well, what happens is you get a boy dog and a girl dog, and so we have a Bernedoodle, a Golden Doodle, and now a Newfie poo. Mr. Beans is probably going to be 100 pounds. The other ones are about 40. So he's the sweetest little dog. Just a sweet. Oh man, and then before I forget, thank you for having me here. Have you met Sir Richard Branson yet? Have you met him?
No, I've gone to one of his events, but I've never met him.
Okay, so my wife and I are going to Necker Island in a couple months, and we're going to hang out. I'm very grateful. We're going to hang out with him for about a week with all these other entrepreneur dads and their spouses, and that'll be a fun time. Because most of my days either spending time with my family or connecting the world's top visionaries. So, you were talking about the in-person experience. So going to Necker Island with top entrepreneurs on planet and hang out with Sir Richard Branson, it's going to be a fun week for sure.
There's a couple of people who've really changed my life over the years, and he is one of them, based on one quote that he has, and I'm going to rip it apart, bastard. Yeah, it's just not going to be the quote. But, he talks about opportunity. And if somebody asks you if you can do something and you don't know how, just say yes.
Yeah, you just do it.
And figure it out later.
Right.
And that's the story of my life.
Of course.
And, it's pretty much one of the golden rules that I live by.
Right.
So anyways, so that's great. I wish I was you. Yeah, that'll be fantastic.
Well, you just said, why won't you do it? You just, what are you talking about? You just do it then. I can introduce you to the people running it if you want to do it. So.
There we go. I would love to put it that way.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, so like talk to me is meaningless. I'll do that after the show. So like
Very good.
this is my litmus test, and again, all I do is spend time with my family and talk to the world's top visionaries. So not humans, not business owners, not consultants. That stuff annoys me. Those are people playing not to lose. Visionaries play to win. My litmus test is my father, who was 61 when I was born. He was 61. He'd be 107 now. He was a World War II hero, shot down multiple times in combat, many times without a parachute, and he just get back into a plane. So most people can't do that. They make excuses. They wish something. They don't. I don't. No, you just do it.
Yeah. Wow. So shot down how many times?
9 times, many times without a parachute. So after he died when I was 13. The Epic Life book. Very grateful. Dr. Peter Diamandis, who's one of top entrepreneurs on planet, did forward, and it's done well. I'm grateful. But chapter 1 is the cream rises to the top, which is what my dad said every day until he died when I was 13. And then it has excerpts of his diary from fighting at the end of World War II, and every day just gets worse and worse and worse. I found it after he died, and so no excuses at the highest level. You just do it. So anyone who makes an excuse to me, it's completely illogical to me.
Yeah. And we deal a lot with Amazon sellers, and they'll all start off, at least when I went through a course, it was a course start date and you can end it whenever you wanted to. There was people that took action, got into it right away and just did it. But you didn't know if you were going to do things right, if you're going to mess up. I call it paying your Amazon tax. You screwed up, but then you get better as you go. It evolves. And years later, and I still know people, years later, people are what-ifing everything. Like, I don't know if I got the right product. The product opportunity might be.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't. Okay. So most people. Okay. So all I do is talk to the world's top visionaries, and almost all of them are ADD, ADHD, diagnosed or undiagnosed. It's not a disorder. It's a sign of genius mislabeled by humans. And then I hear blah, 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 and then simplify into pattern, simplify into answer. Here's answer. Here's answer. So humans, business owners, consultants, they're ready, aim, 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 aim. And then a visionary is fire, 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 fire. And then the ready, aim, they never do anything. They're just aiming their whole lives, and then they get passed by the visionary who actually helps the humans and everyone else. So again, all I do is spend time with my family, pediatrician wife, who's now COO of second company, or our 2 sons who are 9 and 10, or connecting top visionaries on planet. So humans, they make excuses. Business owners make excuses. Visionary, no excuse. Figure it out.
How does that work? You've been like you come from you have a very similar family to mine. I was always on the road traveling, thinking up, failing, winning, failing, winning.
No failure.
Well, no, I call it fail to succeed.
No, totally disagree. The success is in the struggle.
That's interesting, because I always say, and I use the word fail, but I use it as an education. But
yeah.
I always have done something, let's just call it fail, to succeed. And you know, it's something that I've always found as you learn something off of every time you do something. You come out better, another door opens, you learn something, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and expand from it. But don't dwell on it,
No, why would you do that? Well, again, so like, you're either born a top visionary on planet or you're not. I strongly feel that. I think most people would choose to not do anything outbound, just make as much money as you want to, hang out with family and friends, do what you like to do and what you're good at. I think most people would choose that, but these are the 4. Again, I turn everything into patterns. My brain does that. Yeah. I'm guessing you're all 4 of these, by the way. You don't have to answer, but I'm guessing you're all 4. These are the 4 things that separate visionaries from humans, business owners, consultants. There are only 4 things. Okay, all the sunshine and rainbows stuff, I laugh at that, but 4 things. 1, bankruptcy or potential bankruptcy. 2, depression. 3, highest level of anxiety you can imagine. 4, likely and or possible traumatic experiences as a child or young adult. So
Ding, ding, ding.
okay, yay. So for humans, business owners, consultants, those are excuses. For a visionary, figure it out. So I've been an entrepreneur I was a journalist for 20 years. You don't get into that for revenue, funnels. I don't care about any of that stuff. You don't get into journalism for that. So I was a journalist for 20 years and been an entrepreneur for 6, and have zero business background. Now have 2 global companies that only partner with visionaries who look at things as investments, not costs, and live in full abundance, no scarcity. And when I first started first company with zero business background, it's a global PR firm that only partners with visionaries. I was still talking to small business owners, humans, consultants, and they were maybe 1 or 2 of those 4 things. Now it's all 3s and 4s. I mean, it's all 3s and 4s because that's what separates visionaries from humans. And then the visionary has the highest IQ, the highest EQ, the most hustle, the most courage. Like, because you're in all 4. If you didn't have the IQ and or EQ, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. There's no way. And you married a stabilizing human, which is good. People like us usually marry stabilizing humans.
You nailed it. Kelsey already said you nailed our family dynamic, and you're nailing it right off the bat.
Well, that's what it is, because when you see the patterns, all this business owner funnel stuff takes care of itself. Yeah.
I'm kind of curious on the family, like forget the family side for a second. Can 2 visionaries work together to grow a company?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm in a group called Strategic Coach, which I'm very confident is.
Oh, Dan Sullivan.
Yeah, so Dan's wife. Okay, so one of the chapters in Epic Life is find your Babs or have your Babs find you. Babs is a 9 quick start visionary. Dan is a 10 quick start visionary. Babs is a 152 IQ. Dan 140 is genius. Dan is a 142 IQ. So it's 2 visionary geniuses who have humans working for them, but it's 2 visionaries working together and living together. Yeah, of course.
I've always thought the best partnership would be the complete opposite.
So let me dovetail that. So
okay.
I'm what you would call an integrating visionary. I have high quick start and high follow through. That's very rare. My partner for second company is a visionary integrator. So he's full backstage, but he's a higher quick start than I am. He's a bigger visionary than I am, but he's full backstage. And then my wife is the COO integrator. She is low quick start, high follow through. So that's why it works. There's 2 visionaries, and then there's the stabilizing human, like my wife, who's actually running the company. So that's why that works. And that's very similar to Coach. They just have, 100+ employees, which I maybe what happened with my second company, although I don't really know if I want that.
Okay, so let's just explain. So we've got a lot of listeners that are listening right now. Maybe it looks like a lot of first-time listeners. What do you mean by a visionary? Can you explain that?
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So again, my brain turns everything into patterns. For whatever that's worth, that's high IQ, high EQ. And then all I do is talk to geniuses and then simplify all their ADD into a pattern. So visionaries only have 3 attributes, only 3 attributes in their mindset, only 3. 1, they're a visionary. They see things before other folks. They're not business. Their businesses are extension of that purpose. I mean, they have businesses, but it's extension of that purpose. So they see things way before others will do. They'll get into a plane after another one's been shot down. Okay. 2, they live in abundance. There's no scarcity, no limits, no excuses. 3, and this is where what I call the fake visionaries actually become the business owner or the human. A true visionary looks at things as investments, not costs. If you look at things as costs or what do you charge, you're not a visionary because you have scarcity. A true visionary would never have scarcity. Okay, so let me double down on that. Business owners, humans, consultants, they care about revenue, office space, employee count, transactional stuff. They're trying to change their world. True visionary cares about purpose, spending time with loved ones, true connectivity. They're trying to change the world. It's a fundamental difference.
I've always found it, I've always found it a bit of a challenge, like a huge challenge uh, over the last 30 years. When the
Yeah.
kids were younger,
Yeah.
you were off at work. I would consider myself a workaholic. So I get up,
Yeah.
I'm
So the
working.
four things that separate visionaries. Visionaries are the most damaged people with the best coping skills. Most damaged. All four of those things, but they have highest IQ, highest EQ. But they're also addicts. They're addicts to work. They're addicts to alcohol. They're addicts to. So they use all these coping skills, create all this stuff, and then many times they torch their family or never have one in the process. I talk to 1 to 2 visionaries every single week that have let entrepreneur life destroy their family life or prevented them from having a family. That's why I wrote Epic Life: How to Build Collaborative Global Companies While Putting Your Loved Ones First. That's why I wrote it.
Wow. So, and I got to check out this book, by the way. And did I mention the company, your PR firm correctly? It's BR Epic, correct?
It's Brepic, which is
Epic.
funny. Yeah, so I'll simplify it. So besides hanging out with my family, purpose of my life is connecting visionaries to serve humanity. So visionaries, not humans, not because the visionaries help everyone else; they help humanity. And then Brepic, I guess technically is a PR firm, but I was a journalist for 20 years, created an entire business based on how PR firms annoyed me for 20 years, and we only partner with visionaries. There's been nothing outbound with that in years. It's just visionaries connect me to visionaries, and then some of them hire a PR firm. And then second company, Brepic Network, is just a SaaS platform, connectivity platform for visionaries. And then that's where I have a partner who's a bigger visionary than I am, to answer your earlier question. And then my wife is the COO, Stabilizer, Harmony One, and Strength Finders, and she's an onboarding machine for new members. So it's beautiful to watch that in motion.
Oh, very good. I
Yeah.
had actually, Kelsey threw me a question, just told me to make sure that I mention
Yeah.
about the perfection of patterns. And
Yes.
could you explain that?
Right. So Kelsey is a good discernment galvanizer and working genius. So he can take your wonder and your ADD and your ideation and be like, don't forget to do this, simplify it. So that's how I am, discernment galvanizer. And so how my brain works is it turns everything into patterns. And when you have the right pattern, when you have the right answer, you just focus on that answer, you focus on that pattern, and you eliminate the non-answer. And then for me, I've been able to create new patterns, because when you follow the patterns, you see the new patterns, which is really interesting. So my favorite 2 patterns are right mindset attracts right network, which creates right opportunity. So visionary abundance investment mindset attracts visionary abundance investment mindset, and that creates right opportunities. Okay, so and then wrong mindset attracts wrong network, creates no opportunities. So cost scarcity business owner, that attracts cost scarcity business owner. I just ignore that world. People that care about politics, that attracts people that care about politics. That's not my world. I ignore that. Humans complaining at water cooler attracts humans complaining at water cooler. I ignore that world. Okay, so for me, the only right mindset is visionary abundance investment. And then second favorite pattern is I just keep making bigger investments in smaller rooms, but the people in those rooms are making bigger impact. That allows me to spend biggest investment in smallest room, which is my family, where I can make the most impact. And then started my own bigger investment, smaller room, bigger impact community, connecting visionaries to serve humanity. So by creating the patterns and seeing the patterns, you just make your own patterns, and that's where the companies come from. It's really interesting to see that in real time.
Where were you 30 years ago?
Well, I'm 46, so in high school, I was in it. So people like us are usually aliens within their own family, community, and verticals. The only people that understand us are top entrepreneurs on planet. So that was 3 years after my dad died, junior in high school. And then where I'm from is, I would say, upper middle class. The people here, they drive nice cars, but they're the cheapest, cost scarcity mindset you can imagine. And then their children drive nice cars, and they have no idea what it's like to do anything, because mommy and daddy get them everything. So I was talking like this as a 16-year-old, and no one understood what I was talking about. And so that's why I had to go global with both companies, because I live where I grew up, because my wife, who's a stabilizing human, wants to live here, which is fine. She's a pediatrician and very grateful to be here. But that's why I had to go global with both companies, because I had to find people who understood what I was talking about and just found out that they're only ones who get it and where I can actually learn anything are top entrepreneurs on planet.
Okay. Well, wow, it's already 12:30. We're at the bottom of the hour, and at the bottom of every podcast, we have something called the Wheel of Kelsey. So if you are listening for the first time, and I see there's a ton of listeners right now, which is awesome. We have a giveaway, and today, Kels, I think we're giving away a Tariff Terminator, and you're doing some social media.
Yes. So we have the Tariff Terminator and one of my TikTok videos. So if you'd like to promote your product through my TikTok channel, I'll basically make a video for you. If you don't have a deal available, I can just make a product video. You can send me the product if you want, and I'll just create that for you. And then you can use that however you like, or I can post it as a shoppable video.
Okay. And with that Tariff Terminator, if you have never applied for it, or if you don't know what it is, this is where Honu will go and take your tariff code, your HTS, check it out. And if we can save money, and this, by the way, total transparency, I'm one of the co-founders over at Honu. But 80% of Amazon sellers save money with this Tariff Terminator. And just before I got on the call today, one of our clients didn't think that we could do anything for them. Their broker was doing everything for them. And just sent me about an hour ago, I don't believe it, you saved me 7.5%, which is a ton of money for their business. So that's going to be for free. It's a $500 value. And also we have a little bit of something for everybody today. So Josh, can you tell us what that is? Or Justin? Josh. I was just with a Josh all weekend.
Oh, yeah. People call me Jason my whole life, which is also interesting to me. By the way, before I forget, I introduced you to the Rebel Dads Necker Island person via LinkedIn. So,
oh, fantastic.
Go for it. If anyone else is interested in that, I think there's 2 spots remaining. Full disclosure, it's $17K US to go. And then my wife and I are both going. Most of us are bringing our spouses. So if that's something where folks can do it, then reach out to me and I'll connect you to the folks. I mean, if you want to hang out with Richard Branson and go to the most exclusive island on planet where people are really changing the world, then let me know. And I found the less people pay, the more problems they cause, and the more people invest, more impact they have. So that's why I'm so direct. So what was your question? Oh, the mindset thing? Oh, yeah. So again, in Strategic Coach, very grateful to be in that organization. Through their platform, my companies were able to develop a mindset scorecard. It takes 5 minutes. People love taking it. The link is in the chat, or I put it somewhere. And then I found people qualify or disqualify themselves with their own mindset. The limiters, the ones that are ready, aim, that never fire, you can't help someone that can't help themselves. That's what I've learned.
Okay, very good. So if you're interested in that, it is #Wheel of Kelsey. Tag 2 people and you'll get a second entry. And also, if you have questions, make sure you throw them over into the comments section. All right, Kelsey, hit that button.
This episode of Lunch with Norm is sponsored by SureGo Marketing. Ready to take your brand to the next level on TikTok and Instagram? SureGo Marketing specializes in helping entrepreneurs and coaches build profitable brands on TikTok and Instagram, and in less than 90 days. With SureGo Marketing, you can build your brand, create incredible video content, and increase leads without spending a single dime on ad spend. Visit SureGoMarketing.com today and elevate your brand. Now, let's get back to the show.
All right, so let's go back. I know we mentioned this earlier on, but let's just go through it again. What traits define a visionary leader?
The Rebel Dads guy just responded to you. That's a trait that defines a visionary leader. Yeah. Get stuff done. He already responded to my intro. Yeah.
Okay, very good. And why is it important for entrepreneurs to do this or have this trait?
That's a question for your audience, correct?
That's right.
Okay. No, you're right. So again, my litmus test is you get back into a plane without a parachute after another one's been shot down. That's not. I don't know how else to answer that. In Strength Finders, there's 34 Gallup Clifton Strength Finders. I'm one in activator. So I'm activator, maximizer, achiever. So talk is meaningless to me without action and writing the check. So no, a true visionary will just do it. I mean, I know why you're asking that, but a true visionary would never ask that question. I mean, they would just do it.
Right. Okay, now let's switch over to spouses or partners. Any tips on finding the right partner?
Tips. Oh, okay. Oh, let me if I can find it. My wife and I, you're gonna laugh. So if you think the opposite of me,
Yeah.
okay, that would be my wife. So she's a pediatrician. I'm trying to find the website. Give me 1 second, and then I'll
Sure.
put it in the chat, and then Kelsey can do what he wants with it. Okay, there it is. Okay. So my wife and I became international dating experts, not because of me, but hold on, there it is. Okay, we were on the Today Show in the United States. So I'm very low in like almost dead last. But you're probably one in ideation and strength finders. That would be my guess. Most people I talk to are top 5 in ideation. But if I have a great idea, top 5 are activate, maximize, achieve, competition, responsibility. So go, never stop. So in 2018, had a great idea, maybe have one a year, and then that was to go on a date every single week without the children, because at the time our kids were really young. So we did that, and then we got all this media coverage, and that was fun. But really, I just wanted to date my wife. But so again, everything's a pattern. People like us usually marry stabilizing humans. My wife's a pediatrician, so a nurse, a teacher, a social worker, an engineer, a lawyer, a human. It does happen where a visionary marries a visionary. One of two things happens with that. One, greatest life imaginable. That's less of the time. That usually doesn't happen. More often, it's Thelma and Louise driving off the cliff because there's no stability. Okay, so you and I both married a stabilizing human. I believe your wife is a nurse, which I had said that, and then your son's like, oh, yeah, my mom's a nurse. I'm like, well, there's the pattern. There's the answer. Focus on the answer. Here's the answer. So one of two things happens when you marry a stabilizing human. One, our situation where the stabilizing human is the biggest supporter, and then they kind of evolve and transform more into a visionary. They take chances that they never would have. My wife, for example, transitioning out of pediatrics and has become COO of second company. And since she's done that, she's made I don't really live in revenue world, but in 2 months, she's made over $250,000 for the US for the company. Zero business background, because that doesn't matter. I know the answer and I know how her strengths are. So that's when the marriages really work. The second one is when the visionary marries the stabilizing human, and the stabilizing human is an anchor that weighs down the visionary, doesn't support the visionary, becomes resentful, can't keep up, and then it ends in divorce or resentment and terrible marriage.
All right. Yeah, that's very interesting about date night, because that's what we used to do. It would just be get away, keep the kids at home, and we would take off just to keep our sanity.
Right.
Okay, let's talk about one other thing. And then hopefully, I think we should have some questions. I don't know, Kels, maybe we do, maybe we don't. But how do you incorporate a just enjoy playing mindset into your work?
Well, so like being a journalist for 20 years, you don't get into that for business owner stuff. So I've never understood it. It's confusing to me. And again, I just talk to visionaries, and then they get trapped into becoming business owners. So they're not business owners, but they just get trapped into business owner stuff, which they don't really care about, but they think that's what the world actually cares about, and then they become something that they're actually not. So I'm not like that. So there are only two questions I ask myself every single day that actually matter, because when you see the pattern, here's the answer. It's the same answer to the same pattern. So one, did I have a good experience that day with my family? The answer to that is always check yes. Two, did network grow on a global level? So doing a show like this, talking to a visionary, connecting them to another visionary, creating a visionary only network company, having a global PR firm. being in two of the top entrepreneur groups in the world. So the answer to that is always yes as well. I found all this other business owner stuff just takes care of itself because I'm living in my vision, I'm living in my purpose, and I'm spending time with my family. So I enjoy that immensely.
I'm just curious, where are you located?
The Chicago area. I'm in the Toronto of the South. Yeah. So
Oh, okay. All right. I was going to say, because I thought for some reason you were in Florida, and there's just a bunch of really great entrepreneurial groups down in the Fort Lauderdale, Miami area.
okay.
But one of the things that I did when I was younger, and unfortunately I'm not in it because of my travel right now, but in organizations like YPO or
You were in YPO?
EO, I was in EO.
I was in EO also.
Yeah, that's where Dan Sullivan out of the Toronto group, he I remember seeing him there when he was just starting. I think it was just starting out back in 95, 96, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the types of things that really helped out with family as well.
Right.
Because I could go into my forum group, talk about these issues.
Yes.
These people in that forum group, my sort of board of advisors, ended up in very similar situations.
Right.
And it's very interesting because the people that had the supportive spouse survived and thrived.
Correct.
And the ones that didn't, well, they're on Tinder.
Because the spouse wasn't the biggest supporter, the resentment. And then if this is helpful, again, you learn by talking to top visionaries, and then you see the answer. And then I'm on a lot of shows like this, and then I always learn something because this is how I learn in real time, because you hit the button, you hit record, and then that's how you learn. You don't wait.
Right.
Okay, right, great. So there's an equivalent to marrying a stabilizing human, and that's having a stabilizing mindset, and that stabilizing mindset is a mindset of gratitude. So I'll explain what that means, because I'll try to be a human for 2 seconds. Okay, I'll land the plane. So the first thing I do every day, every single day, is a grateful journal to my wife. What I'm grateful for her, the previous 24 hours. Without my wife, as you can imagine, in your situation, my very bad situation, not good. The most important thing for my wife is for someone to say thank you to her. I don't care if anyone says thank you to me. I don't even think about it. But for her, it's very important. So I write that journal every day to get me in the habit of saying thank you to her. Okay, so that's 1. 2, 6 days a week for the last 20 years, I've run 3 to 5 miles every day outside. We live in Chicago. So again, Toronto of the South, terrible weather here most of the time. And then listening to shows like this while I run. So fueling the whole body with positive content and air and all that stuff. So 2, and then 3, 5 days a week, I'll include this in that, do a grateful journal on LinkedIn. It's a commercial for other people, what I'm grateful for that day. Okay. So to simplify those 3 patterns into one pattern, when you're constantly grateful, it's hard to be ungrateful. That gratitude attracts grateful people, and it repels arrogant. And that's the equivalent of marrying a stabilizing human. Because for people like us, we need that stability. Otherwise, off the tracks very quickly.
Oh, yeah. What about kids? Like you said something a little earlier on where, and I always have the expression white shirt, white shirt, right? Or blue collar, white collar, white collar. And you work hard. And then I've seen this in a lot of families, probably the majority, is where the kids just get everything.
Oh, wait. Can I swear?
You can swear.
Yeah, that's bullshit. So that's playing not to lose. And what happened, because I grew up in a community like that. Not what you said. What you said is not BS, but to raise children like that is.
Mm-hmm.
And where I grew up, I saw that, and then these children don't know how to do anything, and then they play not to lose their whole lives. So our sons are 10 and 9. The 10-year-old. His fastest 5K time is 20 minutes, 38 seconds. That most adults would never. He's the biggest competitor I've ever met in my entire ever. I mean, he's more like my dad than I am. My dad became attorney in Nuremberg Nazi war crime trials. Came from nothing, just a pure pure maniac. That's a compliment. And then the 9-year-old and I talk about IQ and bending time. He's a pure genius. He has whatever my brain is with my wife's kindness, pediatrician brain, empathy. So whenever I write a third book, it'll be called Epic Family. That'll be more about my wife's transformation into this world as COO and phasing out of pediatrics. But one of the chapters will be blaming the umpire and other things visionaries don't do, because we have to go out into human world, and both kids are really good athletes. So we they're both on travel baseball teams. So then you go out there and then you watch how the humans yell at umpires, and then their human children start yelling at umpires. And then I go to my kids, visionaries never blame the umpire. You don't blame anyone else but yourself. You take full responsibility for your actions. And so it's a good learning experience to go out into that world, because that's where we live. But I also talk to my kids about creating their own world. So I've seen how playing not to lose ruins families. I've seen that. And then so I've taught our kids to play to win. And then when I see people playing not to lose or blaming people, I use that as a learning lesson for my children.
Yeah, it's so important. And especially if you've never been around or been part of an organization like EO, you really get to see both sides.
Yeah.
Children that are thriving, and they're,
Yes.
I've seen kids around 10, 12 years old doing business plans
Well,
for
right.
businesses.
My 9-year-old already wants to take over both of my companies. And again, Chase considers life one long great day. So there's no yesterday's before you're born, tomorrow's after you die. This is what we talk about. And so there are only two ways to have a great day. One, create more living things, and then do what you like to do and what you're good at. So he's taught me more about what life is than any visionary I've ever talked to. It's the smartest thing I think I've heard anyone ever say, what he said.
I got to get your book. Everything you're talking about is so very interesting.
Thank you.
And by the way, Kelsey, do we have questions? Kelsey?
Sorry, my Wi-Fi is a little lagging right now. But we don't have any questions. But if you have any questions or comments, just let us know in the comment sections, and we'll be getting to the wheel of Kelsey shortly.
All right, very good. Any other lasting thoughts that you can provide? Any advice that you can give to visionaries out there?
Well, I'm a dad who happens to be an entrepreneur, not an entrepreneur who happens to be a dad. And then there's a fundamental difference. And then I always know when someone's winning the wrong game when they lead with three things like, oh, I made this list, or had a big exit, got a new car, whatever that is, material things. And then I always ask, how's your family? I always interrupt them if they go beyond three things. And then almost 100% of the time it's, hey, I'm going through a divorce. And, never see my kids. And because all this stuff's just a shield. It's a shield from the trauma. That's all it is.
I went out once to a network marketing meeting, and
oh God, I'm sorry.
Never did it again.
That sounds horrible. Oh no. My God, why did you do that?
Yeah, slap me in the head. When I was leaving the meeting, this is real.
Horrible.
When I was leaving the meeting, somebody came up to me, and they were talking, looking me in the eye. I shook their hand, and I felt something in my hand, and I'm going, "What the?" It was the guy. It was a paycheck. He goes, "And that's what I made last month." And it was all right. There you go. I'm glad.
What?
Yeah, I am not kidding. And another time, I'm saying this is exactly what I'd much rather talk about somebody's family, breaking bread. In fact, that's one of the things when you're sitting across from somebody this weekend at that event, and you're out at a restaurant and you're talking. We're not talking business.
No.
That's you might, there might be, oh, you know what? I did this and got these results with this app, and it was, oh, that's great. But you're not trying to, you're building a network which will help build your business in the long run.
Right.
And it's the network that is the important part.
Right, my
But,
second company is called Brepic Network. That's my. It's just an extent. Business is just an extension of purpose. That's all it is.
Exactly.
For
And
me, for a visionary, anyway.
so what drives, even at events, when you go and you look at somebody, they're on stage and they start saying, I did 10 million last month.
Nope.
Shoot me in the head.
Wrong game. It's winning the wrong game.
Exactly. And, okay, I'm great for you. But there's so many people that start off their
Right, because they're the
presentation that
most damaged people with the best coping skills, and they use those coping skills to create all this stuff that they think will make them happy, and it doesn't. Those are the most miserable people I know.
Yeah, I've never dug into that, but I'm sure you're.
Oh, that's
bang
what the
on.
book is. It's answer. Well, that's the answer. I mean,
Yeah.
for me it is, and I don't really care if someone disagrees, because I know the answer for me is the one that allows me to spend time with my family, which is what I care about most, and then top visionaries on the planet agree with me. So I don't care if anyone else does. Top visionaries do.
Very good. All right. I think that's it. I think we're wrapping up. Let's see. How can we get a hold of your company? Kelsey's put the book in there. You can put the link in there. That would be awesome too, Kels.
Here's the our new website for the Brepic Network. It's almost done, but you can still put it in there because it's ready to go basically. And I can't tell you how grateful I am for my wife. Not only because she's the best mom and wife on the planet, but her as a COO. It's beautiful. It's pure magic to watch her at work, literally. So grateful for her.
Awesome. So we've got the information in the chat right now. So if you're interested, and Kels, let's go over to a sponsor. We'll come back with the Wheel of Kelsey. Anytime, Kels. Just hit.
This episode of Lunch with Norm is sponsored by Rebate. Attention sellers and brand owners, want to reach more shoppers and boost sales? Rebate's platform connects sellers with shoppers seeking great deals on new products. They make it easy to offer promotions, handle rebates, and ensure seamless redemptions. With countless reviews from satisfied customers, Rebate is the go-to solution to increase your sales. Visit rebate.com today and start reaching more shoppers. Now let's get back to the show.
Okay, we're back. Justin, I'm pretty much 100% sure you've never seen the Wheel of Kelsey.
Because?
Well, I just don't know if you've been listening to our podcast.
No, I appreciate the free gift stuff. That's really not my world. But so that's why I haven't seen it before.
Okay. Yep. So let's hit that button there, Kels.
All right, here we go.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
All right. That's the Wheel of Kelsey.
Like children. The great visionaries are like children. They're always like little kids. That's great, man. That's fantastic. I love it.
Okay, let's spin. Oh, we got a couple more.
Yeah, just a
Just
second.
keep playing that. That's great, man. Hey, Kelsey, when you walk in a room, do you like hold up a phone and say, "This is the Wheel of Kelsey entering"?
I do actually. That's my special.
Do you really? Are you
No.
serious? Oh, that'd be incredible if you did that. Oh,
I should
I
start.
actually want to do a live Wheel of Kelsey where he's velcroed
Oh,
onto the
please
wheel.
do that, please. And then you should put him on an actual spinning thing. You know, like
Yeah.
the thing where you spin around and you throw a knife at someone. That would be better.
Velcroed.
Put him on it
Velcro.
and then make the wheel. Do that. Oh my God, please do that. Incredible.
All
Sorry,
right.
I'm just trying to find out who this last Facebook user is.
Kelsey's just a pure stabilizer. Look at this. What a kind, just a kind. I bet he's like Harmony 1 on string fenders, like my wife. I bet.
Okay, sorry, my internet is just so slow right now.
I love when things don't work perfectly. It's great. Makes me laugh. There's someone should write a book, Geniuses Who Struggle with Zoom. because it's hilarious to watch all these geniuses and they have problems with it or whatever the program is.
I saw one guy, it was a lawyer, and he couldn't get the cat filter off. So he was
Perfect.
he was in a
Even
meeting
better.
with the cat filter.
That's even better. This looks like a Cleveland Browns wheel of death. That's what it looks like. It's great. I'm trying to Canadianize that. I'm trying to think of any Canada teams that have brown and orange.
Hamilton Tiger Cats from the CFL.
Tiger Cats.
Oh,
Yeah.
there we go.
All right. So we are good to go. I'm going to give this a
Rough
spin.
Riders. Aren't they the Rough Riders? Didn't they used to be? Or that was Ottawa that used to be.
Red
Red Blacks.
Red
Well,
Blacks now.
Saskatchewan and
But there's not only one Rough Riders now.
there's two. There were two.
There's only one now.
Crazy. Oh,
All right.
okay. Dan won.
Dan is the winner. Congratulations, Dan. Please email me, k@lunchwithnorm.com, or you can message me on Facebook and we'll connect you with your prize. And that's it for me.
This has been a very unique episode today, and I really appreciate you coming on. This was awesome. This was not what I expected, and I loved it. I love talking to you.
Oh, it was so much fun. I'm Wheel Kelsey. I'm going to be thinking about that. But I do want to see him in human form doing that. Please do that. You promise you'll do that? Please?
That's up to Kelsey. He knows
Kelsey,
I want to
please
do that.
do that. Please. Please do that. Oh, my God. That would be the greatest thing ever. Dude, you'd get more views on that. I'm telling you right now. Especially if he fell off like the Velcro, like face planted. Oh, that'd be amazing.
I would pay for that.
I would pay for that. I'll give you money for that. I'd gladly do that. So Kelsey, I don't know if you listened or you signed up, but please do that.
He's in the background shaking his head. Yeah.
Oh, well, of course he doesn't. Yeah. So he's like, I listened to this crap all day with my dad for 28 years or 23 since he's remembered stuff. But that's all good. That's fine.
Oh, that's great. Justin, thank you so much. I would love to have you back if you'd come back and talk some more. This is great.
Sure. Happy to do it.
Want more great information? Don't forget to subscribe by clicking here. Also, if you want to check out our latest podcast, click over here.
Lunch with Norm.